Welcome to Hashi Rest, for those drawn to mystery stories, quiet places, and forgotten paths. Here, stories unfold slowly, carrying traces of the past and moments never meant to be rushed. Tonight's story begins quietly, without urgency, without expectation. It begins with something easily overlooked, something that waited patiently, without asking to be found. An ancient map left behind for no one in particular. The map was discovered inside a narrow wooden drawer, hidden beneath layers of old papers, letters never sent, and ink softened by time. The drawer resisted slightly, as though unused, as though unnecessary. Inside, the map rested quietly, untouched and unremarked. It had been there for years, perhaps longer, measuring time differently than the room around it. Its edges were worn smooth, rounded by gentle handling, by hands that no longer remained. The parchment held a faint scent of dust, of dry wood and still air, as if it remembered the place where it had waited, without impatience, without concern. Faint lines crossed the surface, moving slowly from one side to the other. They formed rivers, low hills, and winding paths drawn without force. Some lines appeared darker, more confident, while the others seemed uncertain, barely visible. They appeared, then faded, depending on how the light touched them. Nothing on the map felt urgent. There were no warnings, no sharp markings, no instruction demanding attention. Only path stretching quietly across the page, asking nothing in return. The map did not explain itself and did not try to. Small symbols appeared along the routes, placed with care, never crowded. Simple shapes, stones, trees, open spaces. Each symbol felt deliberate, as if drawn slowly, with patience. There was no sense of haste, no desire to arrive quickly. The one who created the map seemed to understand something important, that journeys often last longer than expected. There were no borders, no harsh line dividing places, no edges meant to separate. Everything flowed naturally from one quiet place to the next. The map suggested movement without pressure, without demands. Near of the center of the map, a narrow path drew quiet attention, not darker, not clearer, just present. It moved forward steadily, curving naturally, as though shaped by time itself rather than intention. The land around it appeared calm, low fields, gentle slopes, open sky. There were no obstacles marked, no signs of difficulty, only continuation. The path did not promise anything and did not warn against anything. It simply continued, quietly, without interruption. As the path continued, the map itself seemed to grow quieter. The markings became simpler, more spaced apart, as though there was less need to explain what lay ahead. And the path carried on, without urgency, without resistance, quietly. The path extended gently, rising slightly over low hills. The earth beneath seemed soft, muted by quiet grass. Small stones appeared occasionally, each placed as if by chance, yet somehow deliberate. The hills rolled slowly, their curve like whisper of the land. No sharp edges, no sudden inclines, only a gentle rise and a soft descent. Between each hill the path lingered, pausing briefly as if to breathe, to feel the quiet air before continuing. A narrow river meandered beside the path, its surface calm, reflecting the pale sky, moving only slightly, like a slow exhale of the lands. Along its banks, small symbols appeared, tiny circles of stones, long trees, spaces left intentionally empty. The markings suggested gentle pauses, places to rest, to watch the water and listen to the wind. No urgency existed here. The path did not demand attention. It simply unfolded, waiting to be noticed. Beyond the river, trees began to appear, tall and spaced, comfortable, their leaves rustling softly, as if sharing secrets with the wind. Jets of light flitter through branches, touching patches of earth, creating gentle patterns, moving slowly as the air shifted. Each step along the path was deliberate, yet effortless, as if the map itself guided the feet. There were no obstacles, no sudden changes, only a steady progress through quiet green spaces. The path led to a small lake, its surface perfectly still, like glass reflecting a quiet sky. The trees leaned slightly towards it, their reflections mirrored in the water. The gentle ripple of a breeze moved slowly, barely disturbing the calm. The map seemed content here, its lines simple, the symbols fewer, allowing space for quiet observation. For a moment, time itself felt slowed. The journey continued, yet without hate, without need for conclusion. Beyond the lake, soft meadows stretched, patches of green rolling gently. The grass swayed quietly with each subtle breeze. Sunlight filtered through thin clouds, toppling the ground with slow, shifting patterns. Small greens appeared intermittently, spaces open and calm, inviting a pause, a moment to simply observe, to notice the stillness around. Flowers teeny and pale, peek from the glass, their presence subtle, yet deliberate, adding quiet touches of color. The path led slowly into a forest of sparse trees, trunks tall and straight, branches reaching softly towards one another, leaving whisperings with the gentle wind. Light moved slowly through the canopy, creating shadows that shifted imperceptibly, patterns repeating, fading, fading again. Occasionally, a bird called softly, its voice distant and calm, echoing lightly through the trees. No urgency is sung, only presence. The map seemed to breathe here, each step echoing lightly, yet the quiet remained unbroken. A narrow brook appeared, its water crystal clear, flowing slowly over smooth stones. Tiny ripples moved like whispers, each one reflecting light differently, patterns shifting with quiet patience. Moss grew along the banks, soft and cold to imagine, each stone slightly worn by time. The path followed the brook gently, carving slightly to match its course, inviting calm observation. The map itself guiding but never urging. Beyond the water, faint shapes emerge, remains of structures, stone stacks carefully, yet softened by years of water. Walls were low, partially hidden by creeping plants. Moss and ivy embraced them gently, corners rounded with age. No sound echoed from the ruins, only the quiet of time, the subtle sense of stories held here, stories without urgency. The path continued alongside, guiding gently past each silent memory, leaving space for imagination. After the rains, the path opened into wide fields, grass tall and swaying in harmony with the wind. Distant hills rolling slowly, the horizon barely changing. Clouds moved lightly above, drifting across soft blue skies, their shapes repeating, merging, fading. Here, the map seemed simplest, lines barely drawn, symbols sparse, a quiet invitation to continue without awe. Each step along the path felt natural, effortless, as if the land itself desired not rush, only presence. The path leads deeper into the forest, trees now closer together, their branches forming soft arcs above, shadows stretching slowly along the ground. Light fell in gentle beams, scattering across moss-covered roots. The floor soft underfoot, every stone, every leaf noticed without hurry. Leaves whispered softly in the wind. Leaves whispered softly in the wind. Subtle sounds, almost imagined. The air cool and still. Nothing hurried, nothing demanded attention. Every step echoed lightly, yet the sound faded quickly. Absorbed by the stillness, time moving slowly here. The forest felt patient, all and knowing, each tree a silent guardian, every shadow a gentle companion. The quiet repeating softly again and again. The forest opened onto a still lake, water smooth and motionless, reflecting every tree, every cloud, the surface barely moving. No ripples disturbed the water, only the faintest breath of wind, creating gentle, almost invisible patterns. The edge of the lake was soft, stones rounded by time, grass bending lightly towards the water, every detail lingering in quiet attention. Occasionally, a leaf fell, touching the water with a soft sound. The stillness returned. Everything settled again. The map seemed content here, lines simple and sparse, no hurry to continue, no need for explanation. Repetition of calm, repetition of reflection. Beyond the lake, fields stretch widely, tall grass swaying in gentle waves, the horizon soft and broken. Flowers dotted the grass, pale, soft color blending naturally, no sudden brightness, no abrupt contrast, only gentle shapes and calm hues. The wind moved slowly, carrying quiet scents of earth and leaf, barely felt, barely heard, movement repeating softly across the field. Each step through the fields felt easy, as if the ground itself welcomed movement. Repetition of soft sway, repetition of calm air, the horizon repeating soft, endless. The sky above mirrored the tranquility, clouds drifting lazy, shapes repeating, fading, merging. Nothing urgent, nothing demanding. In the distant, faint structures appeared, remained of buildings, low walls and cramped arcs, softened by years of quiet. Stone, moss-covered and worn smooth, suggested rooms once used, halls where footsteps had faded long ago, spaces repeating softly, silently. Windows were empty, framing glimpses of sky and forest, light flittering gently through broken frame. Repetition of shapes, repetition of silence. The map offered no guidance, only observation. Time itself seemed slowed here, the journey continuing, yet without movement, without urgency, only quiet awareness, only calm repetition. The path gently carved, leading to a quiet refuge, tucked between low hills, hidden from the eyes of hurried travelers. The entrance was simple, framed by soft branches, leaves brushing lightly against stone, welcoming without words. Light here was soft, filtered through trees and creeping vines, falling slowly on the worn stones. Patterns repeating, repeating softly. Each step inside felt easy, as if the path itself slowed the pace. Every sound muted, every shadow gentle. Beyond the small entrance, a garden appeared, quiet and lush, flowers pale and soft, leaf brushing gentle in a slow wind. Small pathways wound lazily, carving between stones and plants. Each path seemed endless, yet inviting calm observation. A fountain, barely moving, whispered softly, water trickling gently, stones around it moss covered, reflecting the mirrored light. Time seemed suspended here, repetition of soft sway, repetition of quiet water, repetition of gentle air. Nearby, a library stood, shelf tall, lined with dusty books. The air spins faded, letters softened by time. The air smelled faintly of the paper and wood. Warm and still, inviting quiet observation. Some books lay open, pages turning slowly in a soft breeze. Words almost whispering, nothing urgent, only quiet repetition. Light filtered through high windows, casting gentle patterns on the food. Shadows long and calm, repeating slowly, softly again. Outside the library, the garden extended, paths carving gently between flower beds, air filled with quiet scents, each one lingering without demand. The fountain continued its soft song, water reflecting gentle lights. Each ripple slow, deliberate, repeating endlessly, creating calm repetition. Here, in this central place, the map rested quietly, the journey passed, time slowed, every sound, every shadow, every breath repeating. The refuge seemed infinite, endless calm, offering quiet, offering stillness, repetition, repetition, gentle repetition. The path continued quietly, winding through familiar spaces, soft grass brushing against unseen feet, trees standing tall, patient, calm. The lake reflected muted light, water smooth and unbroken, ripples forming slowly, fading quickly, repeated again, repeated again. Shadows stretched lazily across the ground, leaves whispered softly in the gentle wind. Every sound quiet, every moment slow. Repeated again, repeated again. Endlessly repeated. The ruins stood still, moss-covered stones and broken arcs, empty windows framing glimpses of sky, patterns repeated softly, endlessly. The garden shimmered faintly, flowers bending slowly, petals barely moving, buds curved gently, again and again. The air calm, warm and still. The map remained open, lines simple, shapes soft, every detail repeating gently, the journey continuing without hurry, without ends. Time slowed further, the forest, the lake, the fields, the ruins, all existing quietly together, repetition, calmness, stillness. And so the path continued, endlessly repeating its gentle curves. The map, whispering softly, invited observation without demand, without expectation. The journey remained open, continued quietly beyond sight, shapes, sound, and shadows merging into calm. Repetition, gentle repetition, endless repetition. And now, As you breathe slowly, let the map, the path, the forest, the lake, all continue quietly in your mind, fading gentle, softly into calm sleep.